I grew up in a joint family to whom I dedicate much of my growth, my learnings, and the person that I am today. Grew up with 35 people in the family.
If your career was a movie, what's the title?
I would say The Godfather.
And how that MBA shaped your career?
And that's one of the best decisions, again, that I took because of the fact that it gave me a holistic understanding of the business world, right? It's one of those educations, right? It's one of those degrees, I think, that bridges the theoretical aspect to the realistic aspect really well.
One thing you learn on the job that they never taught you in engineering school.
How to talk and manage people.
This is the Oil and Gas Breaking By show, where we are going to invite industry leaders to talk about their journeys and also technologies of tomorrow, in an effort to break some of the biases that might have formed around this energy industry. Hello everyone, I hope you are happy and healthy. I'm Anand Jha and you are listening to the Oil and Gas Breaking By show. Today I'm happy and excited because we will be joined by Ani Ganguly, a dynamic leader with 2 decades of experience in energy and infrastructure. Now, as VP of Business Development at Kiewit, he's driving multi-billion-dollar projects in energy and beyond. With his career spanning across construction sites to many corporate roles, Annie is known for building trust, driving innovation, and delivering results in complex and high-stake environment in oil and gas and beyond. So with that, let's deep dive into his journey and get his views on the biases that might exist in this energy industry. Annie, I'm very happy to have you here today.
Hello, Anand. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you so much. We connected before and immediately I have found you have a really interesting journey and you have worked across different continents and the countries. So let's talk about your journey and so we can all learn from it.
Absolutely. I'm happy to share. So getting right into it, my journey, Anand, started back in India. And, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s of India, and I grew up in a joint family to whom I dedicate much of my growth, my learnings, and the person that I am today. Grew up with 35 people in the family, so it was a huge family, and that's probably what made me the extrovert that I am today. And it has been a very enriching journey for me. It's totally based on family values that I've grew up, and looking forward to chatting with you throughout this podcast and offering what I can to offer from my side.
Definitely. So let's talk about how you have moved from India to US and what caused you to pick this engineering domain.
Absolutely. So, I moved to the States in the early 2000s decade, and I grew up, my mom was a doctor. My mom is actually still a doctor, and my dad used to work in the banking sector. So I grew up in that professional circle, and I knew that, growing up with the focus on the academia in India at the time when we were growing up, and you could probably relate to this. And it was absolutely important that we do something, be an engineer or be a doctor. So seeing my mom...
That's a story of most of us, engineer or doctor.
And yeah, that's absolutely the truth though, right? That's absolutely the truth. Growing up, I saw my mom used to have the laborious journey throughout her days of practicing medicine and being a doctor, unending calls in the middle of the night. And that kind of prompted me to do something else other than medicine. And you would say, without thinking further, I just chose the path of engineering. And I came to the States to do my grad school, and then I started working with Kiewit, and the rest is what you see after 20 years. So it's been a very enriching journey for me, and I'm really grateful and thankful for the people who I've crossed paths with. And there are multiple folks who has helped me shape the person and my journey till date.
No, that's really great. And you talk about your journey, like started with the big family. How that shaped you as an individual, that kind of background?
So one thing that it has taught me from the very beginning, Anand, was, right, to be grateful for what we have. So, we didn't grow up with abundance, and we had to share everything with my cousins and with the broader family. I am the eldest in my generation. My dad was the eldest in his generation, and so on and so forth. So it gave us a purpose of leading the families and leading the generations per se. And, my dad always made sure that he gets the last of everything, making sure the family is taken care of. And I grew up in that same mentality, seeing my dad, my mom. And I think that's the piece that has helped me to be caring, to be thoughtful about others, and to make sure that you lead with empathy. You understand what people are going through, because, growing up in a 35-member household is to make sure that everybody had different needs, right? Everybody had different needs and everybody had different wants, demands, and we kind of helped everybody come together, grow together, and belong together. So I think that has helped me immensely. And the other piece I would say, Anand, you'll probably say that I'm a bit extrovert. I like talking to people. I think that's the other piece that has shaped me to be the person who I am, the extrovert that I am. I would like to think I'm an extrovert, maybe.
Yes, you are. I can say that.
And so I think those interactions, right, from a very young age, and not being shy about talking to people, interacting with people all day long, sharing your stories, what happened from in school to the entirety of the day, I think is, and when you practice this over the years, and especially when you're growing up, I think you pick those up as a habit as you get to your latter life and the latter part of your career.
And definitely. And the move from India to US, like at that time you were really young, like any of the stereotype or biases that you might have faced within yourself or maybe in the surrounding?
At that time, I think the biggest hindrance, I would say, the times that we came to the States, the world wasn't so open, right? The world was a little bit more closed around us. What I mean by that is not everybody going to engineering colleges or schools or practicing medicine were able to think and act that, okay, there is a world outside of India. There is a world outside my local domain. So I think that was something that I had to overcome. I had to go beyond and think beyond a little bit that there is a world. Yes, there is a lot of uncertainty. Certainly, if you compare the India of the 90s and the US of the 90s, it was very starkly different worlds. And so with that uncertainty, I think we made the stride. I jumped on the opportunity that I had. And again, thanks to my mom, I would say immensely, who pushed me to pursue the higher education, and support from my family, my dad, and both my parents, actually. It helped me to overcome that hindrance or the mental block that I had at that time, and overcome that uncertainty to make it to the States.
No, that's great. And also during this journey, you had opportunity to work with the Ernst and Young and TCS, and later you have also did MBA. Let's talk about that, like how it all helped to shape you as an individual and also your professional career.
I think it's a very good question. I think there are a couple of things that I would like to mention over here, right? So right after grad school, I started working for Kiewit, right? And it has been an immensely rewarding journey. So roughly the first 17-ish years with Kiewit, Anand, has been times of learning, of understanding, of my own growth. And I'm really, really thankful to the people who were with me, who supported me, who coached me, who guided me throughout those 17 years of journey, right? And I'm absolutely thankful and grateful to those individuals, to the people, the community at Kiewit, for helping me and shape me the person I am. And later, after my grad school, I kind of wanted to get an understanding of the business world. How does the day-to-day business work? And I wanted to pursue an MBA from a good school. And again, maybe I'm a luckiest guy, Anand, right? And I got into the program at Kellogg, and absolutely, since then, it has been a very enriching journey, even through Kellogg, which prompted me to do something different, and something totally different than where I was, obviously, with Kiewit and going to Ernst & Young, two different worlds altogether.
Yes, definitely.
It was both the C's, right? So C for construction, C for consulting. At least I maintained the alphabets.
But totally different world, as you said.
Absolutely different world. It was absolutely different world. And like my first 3 months at EY, I was absolutely rethinking the decision that I made. But, it takes time to adjust and feel at place in an organization like Ernst & Young. So, I went from 1,000-member organization to 300,000-member organization. So it obviously took its time, but I'm glad I got adjusted to it. I'm glad that I spent my time there because it has been immensely rewarding again for me to being in those consulting shoes and being able to understand the business just beyond the energy sector, really, just beyond the construction world. So I think that's what I would like to say. Yes.
And how that MBA shaped your career. We briefly talked about your MBA journey, and lots of listeners reach out to me, and also you mentioned like they also reach out to you in the past, and when they're debating should they go for higher education or not. So anything to add there?
I think, Anand, really, I think that's the best decision I took to pursue this MBA. I did ask at that time at Kiewit, one of our executives, who is also there currently in Kiewit right now. He helped me understand, he coached me to pursue this MBA, right? And it was, without his coaching, without his guidance, I would say I wouldn't probably have taken that step, right? But I'm glad I did. And the reason why I say I probably wouldn't have taken that step is because, it's a big decision, right? You're taking a big decision, you're taking a big financial decision to pursue this program. And it's something that is not cheap, right? So I would say
it's a big
that
commitment, yes.
It's a big commitment from both sides, like financially, your time, you have to balance your life around that. But I will say, Anand, that's one of the best decisions, again, that I took because of the fact that it gave me a holistic understanding of the business world, right? It's one of those educations, right? It's one of those degrees, I think, that bridges the theoretical aspect to the realistic aspect really well.
Yes, I can imagine. And I fully agree. I have done by myself, and I see the value. And also you learn a lot from your classmates, and that gives you belief you can do something different. And in your case, when you did this, then you explored what is available outside. So that makes you a more confident person. And education, it always helps, but it's very hard to put a ROI on day one, But I think it's other way around. Like you evolve as a person, and the opportunity and success follows you after that. And so that's really a great way to put it, Annie.
I think you're absolutely spot on and very well said on. And it's like, I don't remember, but I don't think I went into the program with an ROI in mind. I went into the program absolutely open-minded. And I took the leap and I said, okay, I'm going to go on a learning session for the next couple of years. And my goodness, was it rewarding, Anand.
Yes, I can imagine. No, that's good. So let's switching back to the industry discussion. As I mentioned, you closely work with the energy industry on day-to-day basis. Energy industry went through so many different cycles, and now there is a lots of boom on the gas side and lots of activity in the LNG space. But what are the opportunity challenges that exist in the industry? And if somebody is looking to make a big in this industry as a business or career, how they can do that? I
would say for all the folks, the listeners who are shaping their careers in this industry, Anand, one thing that I see is I would urge people to have a growth mindset. Okay. What that means is really being vulnerable in terms of it's okay to not know everything day one. It's okay to get on the job and learn. But one thing that we all need to do and we all need to understand is, there is the hard work that we need to put in. There are so many things, Anand, that I don't know and I don't on a daily basis, right? But we make the effort to go out there, put ourselves out there and understand. So I would say don't hesitate to put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Be absolutely open to learnings. And it's okay that you don't know everything. Accept that and try to learn and surround yourself with mentors and people who will impart you that learning, who will impart you that guidance and coaching as you move along your journey is what I would say for the folks who are listening in.
No, definitely. And let's talk about the opportunity and challenges. Like where do you see most of the investments or most of the future opportunities out there, like including AI and technology that we are talking about? Anything that you like to pinpoint?
I would say, Anand, obviously, it's every day you pick up the phone. I think when you wake up, you're seeing there is some other form of technology that is either about to change our lives or something that is, at the brink of putting technology ahead of humankind, right? So technology, I think, is going to be a part of our daily lives. right?
Mhm.
I think we need to accept that. We need to figure out ways and really, I talk to continuously with my cohort mates in Kiewit and beyond. And I think what everybody's telling me and the guidance that I get is everybody's looking for the business cases. Everybody's trying to figure out the application of technology into various industries, not just
Mhm.
ours. So I think technology will be a big part of our lives. We need to accept it, right? We are, I mean, just think about the fact that we are sitting in two different offices separated by tens of miles. We are able to do this. Previously, you
Yes,
would
you're right.
probably need to get somebody in your studio to do this.
Yes, you're right.
Just like that, I would say it's going to be a part of our daily lives, right?
Definitely.
From the market standpoint, right? Obviously, we're in a place where I think the focus is on various. We have there has been a shift. There has been a little bit of a divergence over the last few years. I feel like there's a little bit of a convergence in the markets at the moment because of various pressures that we're seeing outside, that beyond our control, like beyond your day-to-day control, beyond my day-to-day control, and
Mhm.
our colleagues and peers that work in this industry's control either. So I would say, as we need to be nimble, we need to be able to adjust ourselves to those market pressures and figure out what's the best and way to move forward, really. So
Makes sense.
those are my
So
couple things.
no, makes sense. So you have highlighted a really good point. Like this industry is always evolving. Like the new technology, new opportunities are always there. And one thing like I normally highlight in my podcast, like this industry is not going anywhere. So it just transform itself. And like now we talk about the carbon capture, hydrogen. Like there's a big boom on LNG either in North America or if you go a different part of the world now, even in Africa, there are lots of projects out there. So it's very global and full of opportunities and innovations. So if you're listening, like if you want to be part of this industry, is never late. And also this industry is very welcoming, if you're adding a value.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Anand. Wouldn't agree more with you.
So let's switching a topic here, like going back to your journey, Annie. Like you had a really good journey, and also you made it big in your career, wherever you are. But if you're given a chance to reflect back on the journey and what changes you might make.
I would say one thing first, right? I would say, Anand, big is yet to come. The better days are yet to come.
Yeah. That journey continues.
The person that I am always, I think we all are in some way, shape, or form. Wherever we are in our career, should always have the mindset of growing. And I'm sure you do, I do. So I always tell myself big and better is yet to come. So I lead my life on with that purpose. If you ask me like one thing that I would like to change, I would like to have a little bit more hands-on approach into the world that we're living in. I would say I would like to have pulled the trigger on getting my MBA a little bit earlier. That would give me a little bit more opportunity to see what else is out there. And it is not with the intent of anything else, but just with the intent of growing and learning, because I truly value the fact, Anand, that when I did go from Kiewit to consulting, I was placed in so many different industries, different domains, that I got a holistic view of the world beyond my day-to-day lives. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, when I returned back to Kiewit, there were many friends and family that called me up and said, well, we're glad that you returned back home. So I would always say, Kiewit is my home. Kiewit's been my home over the last decades. Tremendous relationships, tremendous people in the organization. It's really a family culture over here at Kiewit. So those are the couple things maybe I would say I would retool or change or relook at.
Interesting. And you talk about those early exposures. They shape your life significantly. So as you mentioned, like if you can get those opportunity as soon as in your career or business, take those opportunities. And sometimes you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision based on your gut. Like as you mentioned, like you did MBA without calculating the ROI. So that's why your decision, correct? So sometimes we have to take those decisions when they arise. No, that's great. Let's continue the theme of your journey. Like let's talk about rapid fire round. I'm going
That's
to ask
awesome.
you. I'm going to ask you some questions, and let's see how you take those questions. Annie, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start with your the story of the journey and career. So if your career was a movie, what's the title?
I would say The Godfather.
Why Godfather is interesting.
I don't know why Godfather or why I picked. I think that's one of the movies that that I go back and watch, and maybe the actors made it
Yeah,
so profounding for me to see. But I would say I think you and I talked about this a little bit, right? It's the way the folks take care of the business, the
and the
family,
family, yes,
the
yes.
importance of family in the movie. I think is absolutely important, and I think we would be after our careers are over, that's what we would be left with,
I know, and
Anand, right?
you need
So
a right balance. Yes,
yes, sir.
yeah, time goes really really fast, before we realize it.
Yep.
No, that's good. Okay, let's move the next one. What's tougher, steering a project or family dinner plans, and why?
I would say the latter, right? And it is because of that, because of the fact that there are so many moving pieces and puzzles, and there are a bunch of emotions attached to it, multiple decisions, and and which unfortunately we're probably not very well equipped on, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say to make those choices and decisions. So,
And everybody
so I
has a
would say the
preference.
family dinner.
That's good. So it's a family dinner. That's good. I think that's true for everyone. Suit or steel toe boots, which feels more natural?
Right now, the suit, because I've
Mm-hmm.
been, the last decade has been a journey with consulting and my journey into the business development roles and further. And it's a part of natural progression, I would say, right? I started with the steel toe boots. It felt natural at that time. And today it's a
Yes.
journey that we're living in, but I'm flexible. There are days when I still put on the steel toe boots on and roll up the sleeves and go to work. And if it's needed, that's what we'll do.
And that's great. And I had the similar journey. I started as a commissioning engineer, so almost a decade. I had those steel toe boots and my safety hat and everything else. I can still remember those days. Biggest project headache: people or paperwork?
Right now, I would say the world that we are living in, I would probably answer the former, which is managing the people with the immense amount of work and the jobs in the energy industry on. And I would say today it is absolutely important. It is important to understand people, to know your people, to understand your people, so that that you are able to get the best results, deliver the best results. Having everybody join towards the common cause and rah-rahing towards the common goals, I think, is very important as a leader. So, but technology is making our lives easier in terms of paperwork, and it'll continue to do so. So I would go with people.
And that's great. Go to stress fix: coffee, music, or silence?
I would say coffee. I drink immense amount of coffee, but there's a caveat, right? I'd like to put a caveat to it. I mean, I think I told you this before, right? That I do not put myself into stressful situations. And it only, I think, slows me down, to be very honest with you, right? And I hope it slows down the others as well. I'm not definitely a psychologist, but I think putting stress into your life, putting stress into your world, I think it's not a good thing, right? You need to still be doing all the things that is a part of your job, that is a part of who you are, and thinking through about it. It's a balance, right?
Yes, you're
Rather
right.
than stress, I would say figure out a way to maintain the balance and in between the priorities in both your personal and professional lives. I think it'll only help. And then I go to coffee because I would say that's my go-to thing for many of us.
That's great. One thing you learn on the job that they never taught you in engineering school.
How to talk and manage people, right? It's I think it's one of the things that I definitely did not have the opportunity to do that. Growing up in India, doing my undergrad in India and then coming to grad school over here in the States, I did not have the opportunity to have an internship. I know today's many folks from colleges, there is an internship program that's mandatory. So I would say the more you are coming onto your internship programs, the more you're growing in this industry and wherever you are, try to learn and understand how the industry or the world operates around you. The
Makes
business,
sense.
how does the business operate?
That
So,
makes you ready, like for the real world.
yes, sir.
That makes sense. Last not the least, if you weren't in the energy business, what totally unexpected job you would secretly love to try?
Movie star.
That's great. So you started from the Godfather to the movie star. I could see like where the connection is coming from.
You wanted me to be impromptu. I'm being impromptu right now.
That's great. Your favorite movie star?
I don't know if people will know him, but Shah Rukh Khan in Bollywood.
Yeah, people know him. I think so. Like he's a popular enough to be known. That's great. No, thank you so much, Annie. It really interesting, and it brought some really good thoughts behind all these questions. So thanks for answering, and I think you did really good. Very thoughtful.
Thank you so much.
And that's great. So let's continue. I actually we're running out of time, but I want to ask you two questions. You know, like we talked about so many things, but you have to summarize everything as a one key takeaway for someone who's looking to make big in this industry. What would be that one key takeaway?
I touched on it a little bit. Have a
Mm.
growth mindset, number one. Along with what comes along with it is don't be afraid to fail. Failure is a part of growth.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're growing up in this industry, for the folks who are coming into the industry, I would say be open in terms of having others' perspectives. Rely on the facts that will
Mhm.
help you make better decisions as individuals, as leaders, as you progress in the journey.
No, that makes sense. I think you have really hit the right thing. You know, like be open is very important. You know, and explore new things. And last not the least, we talk about the bias. That one bias that exists in the industry, and how can we come over? What's your view on it?
Anand, I think, if I am looking at the biases, right, there are probably multiple, and, some of them could be, there are many ways to mitigate all the biases that are there, but I would say my mom always told me that focus and try to change the world that you can change,
Mhm.
right? Because there are things beyond our control. So I think one thing that I can perhaps change is the little bit of a cognitive bias, right? So I would like to be more open to perspectives of others in terms of, and I'm not saying about everything, right? I'm
Yes,
saying
you're right.
about the times when there is a decision-making time, right? Listen to others with intent. I think listening is one of the fundamentals of a leader. And as you listen to it, understand the facts, their perspectives, ask many questions, ask the whys. Don't shy away from the whys. And I think as you do that, I think you'll come out with great outcomes, I think.
Yes. So we need to be curious, and that's the underlying
Absolutely.
curious and open for ideas and discussion. But also, you mentioned really good point. There are some scenarios where you have to make a decision. You know, like you cannot be in that limbo forever. But I like that idea to have that perspective, get a let wider perspective, and make decisions accordingly. So that's great. Thank you so much, Annie. Before we wrap up today, anything to say? Anything to add here?
I would like to thank you for having me on the show. I have listened to many of your podcasts before, and I'm very honored to join that group of personnel. So thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
so much. Thank you so much. So with that, we'll wrap up today. Keep listening, Oil and Gas Breaking By Show. See you next week. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.